This is CBC Here and Now.
One, two, and bronze for Canada.
We worked so darn hard to get back up there today, so it was, special for all of us.
A big moment. I think we all wanted it real bad, so, no quit.
Bronze for Team Gushue. The team is bringing home an Olympic medal, the second for Brad Gushue and Mark Nichols.
Well, it was a stormy start to the weekend, but for once, the weather this weekend actually looks fairly quiet.
Welcome to Here and Now. I'm Carolyn Stokes. Well, Team Gushue is bringing home the bronze.
One, two, and bronze for Canada.
Brad Gushue and Team Canada picked up a bronze medal in curling at the Beijing Olympics early this morning. It was an emotional moment for Gushue and Mark Nichols, who both won gold together in 2006. The rink defeated the United States 8-5 to make it to the podium in the game's 10th and final end. The team's gold medal hopes in Beijing were dashed yesterday when they lost to Sweden. Gushue says it's been a very difficult week, and he calls this morning's game against the U.S. the toughest game he's ever played.
We all said we were super proud of each other. We had a rough morning, and probably, sorry.
The bronze. You should be so proud.
I am.
It's been 16 years since we've, got to stand on the podium. I know it's not the color that we wanted, but we worked so darn hard to get back up there today. So it was, special for all of us.
We weren't at our best this week. I think that was clear to every Canadian curling fan that watched this. But for us to grind through and come out with a bronze medal, it's something I'm super proud of right now, and I think I'm going to be even prouder as the years go by. It's really easy to play when you're playing well, but it's tough being on this stage when you're struggling, and I thought we handled it really well, and to grind out that win today, I'm super proud.
A lot of pride back at home. Brad Gushue's family watched the bronze medal match early this morning, and when Team Gushue won, the family celebrated just like they had won gold.
The first thing he asked was, were the kids proud of him? Were they excited when he won? And, that broke my heart, because I know when they lost the game yesterday, he felt like he let us down, the country down, the fans down. And I know it was really hard on him. So being able to achieve that bronze medal, he's going to bring home a medal. The kids are going to be able to see it. He's excited that, maybe the kids can show it to their friends, their classmates. He wanted them to feel that excitement.
Well, on Team Gushue's home ice today, there was a little curling action taking place with a few more experienced curlers hitting the ice. For the Team Gushue supporters here, an Olympic medal win is a huge deal. After the gold medal win in 2006, lots of young people in the province started taking up curling. Despite COVID, the club has seen a rise in youth curling, but the success at the 2022 Olympics is good news for the club.
It's a very big deal for curling. It's a big deal for curling in Canada, first of all, because we finally medaled at the Olympics again. I'm delighted to have another two-time Olympic medalist at this club. It's just fabulous for us. Little O St. John's getting 2 medals. It's awesome. So, and from a club perspective and an ice maker perspective, they worked so hard here for the past little while. So I know it's not Brad's gold that he really would have liked to have had, but by God, it's a medal, and it's fabulous.
The RCMP says today's high winds are responsible for this transport truck tipping over on its side on the Trans-Canada Highway east of Goobies. The accident had blocked most of the highway until police got it cleared this afternoon.
Yes, Carolyn, it was a windy day across the province today. Most of the afternoon, in fact, seeing those gusts over 100 kilometers per hour in the metro area. Let's take a look at the top gusts so far. They're actually a bit higher than this, but Sagona Island, 128 kilometers per hour. Now, taking a look at the rainfall amounts, we're seeing some washouts on the west coast as well as some flooding. 115 millimeters of rain in Galance today, as well as Stephenville, nearly 96 millimeters. Now, this wind will stay quite strong as we head through 10 o'clock tonight with those gusts near 100 or even 120 kilometers per hour. But as we head through the first half of tomorrow, those winds will eventually ease. I'll have the full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, the survivors and the bodies of those recovered from a Spanish trawler that sank 430 kilometers off Newfoundland began arriving in St. John's this morning. The Maersk Nexus arrived in port this morning carrying 2 of the deceased. The Canadian Coast Guard ship Cygnus is escorting at least 2 vessels transporting the survivors and some of the bodies. The Transportation Safety Board says Spain is responsible for any investigation into the tragedy because it happened in international waters. But the TSB says it will assist the Spanish authorities where possible. The ship sank early Tuesday morning after its emergency beacons were activated. There was no mayday call. Well, a man who used fake nursing credentials to get a job at a retirement home in Bay Roberts and then sexually assaulted a resident is going to jail. Chris Power is sentenced to 16 months for his crimes. The 45-year-old was caught sexually assaulting an elderly sleeping male resident in August of 2020. He had also forged a background check and lied about his education as a licensed practical nurse when he applied for the position. The court heard that Power had previously done time for sex offenses against a vulnerable person when he was 20. He will also serve 2 years probation. Well, the police operation to clear protesters from downtown Ottawa is fully underway. There have been at least 70 arrests today. 4 protest leaders are now in custody: Tamara Leach, Chris Barber, Dan Bulford, and Pat King. Leach and Barber were in court today and they remain in jail. The CBC's Ashley Burke has the latest on today's events.
Hold that line!
After 3 weeks and numerous warnings, police moved in. Demonstrators tried to hold their ground.
No fighting! No fighting, guys!
But for the first time, they were outnumbered by police. Some surrendered, others fought back.
What are they doing to us, man?
Police made arrests one after another. By early afternoon, more than 70 hauled out.
The police are holding no integrity. It's just a sad day in Canada.
This massive operation came after mounting pressure for police to take action. RCMP, OPP, and local police joining forces, deploying a tactical team, waves of reinforcements, and horses to push this crowd back and clear demonstrators out.
We will run this operation 24 hours a day until the residents and community have their entire city back.
In this crowd, a family with 5 children aged 9 to 18, leaving in tears. They say their father fell and police took him away in handcuffs. He's now somewhere in this line, off to be detained.
I was more worried about losing one of these guys because they're just pushing, everyone's pushing in all directions. It's hard to keep track. So we just kind of held each other, and it was pretty kind of scary, honestly.
Police had warned parents it was illegal to bring their children here and urged them to keep kids away.
I don't blame them for not wanting kids there, but at the same time, if you're going to make that situation like that, it's kind of on you, right?
Earlier, police had targeted those in trucks, smashing windows if they wouldn't get out.
Police just swarmed in from everywhere and pulled everyone out of the trucks and hauled them away.
Then hauled their vehicles away too. Clearing these roads could take days, but the priority first, getting demonstrators out. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, fewer people are in hospital due to COVID-19 than in recent days in this province. 13 people are in hospital, down three from Thursday. 5 people are in intensive care. Meanwhile, the provincial government is reminding its employees that the mandatory vaccination policy will remain in effect even after all COVID-19 restrictions are dropped next month. Well, there's a big housing demand in Labrador West, but an announcement today is aimed at making more places available for people to live. The federal and provincial governments have announced a contract that will see major renovations to 18 social housing units in the area. The houses have sat empty for years and are in need of extensive work to make them livable. That work is expected to be completed this time next year.
Announcing $2 million in funding to rehabilitate 18 housing units here in Labrador City. That again is long overdue, and that will help the housing supply here in this growing, dynamic town.
Earlier this week, we marked the 40th anniversary of the Ocean Ranger disaster. Well, today is a milestone anniversary for another tragedy at sea, the 80th anniversary of the sinking of the USS Truxton-Pollux during a storm off the shores of St. Lawrence. 203 sailors lost their lives, but because of the efforts of the people of St. Lawrence and Lon, 186 survived. One of those survivors was a black sailor named Lanier Phillips. For decades later, he told the story of how meeting the people of St. Lawrence changed his life because it was the first time he didn't experience racism. 97-year-old Gus Etchegary is the last living eyewitness from that day. He got to know Phillips over the years.
He made such an impression following his treatment by these women in St. Lawrence that he was certainly not used to. He, it changed his life and his attitude toward life. Black men in the American Navy are usually what they call working in the mess. He decided when he went back to the Navy after the event and was offered the same job again, he refused to take it and eventually became the first black man to achieve a very high level in the U.S. Navy. He was quite a man, and that was one of the bright, if there was such a thing as something that was useful coming from the horrendous event. That was one of the things I quite well remember. It's a long time ago, of course, 80 years. The miners themselves were the ones who really put their lives at risk by wading out into the raging sea and so on. A 17-year-old boy was rather shaken, and the events that took place were indelibly etched in my mind for many, many, many years.
Well, for more on the Pollux and Truxton anniversary, tune in to Land and Sea next Sunday, February 27th. You'll hear the stories of St. Lawrence told by one of the town's own, Carl Slaney. We told you earlier about Team Gushue's bronze medal win. Well, each of the curling games at the Games begin with a tradition. Here's our own Anthony Germain with that.
Screams. Rocks smashing houses. Modern Olympic glitz. But there's history, kilts, horsehair, crossbelts, and Glengarry bonnets. Curling culture, Chinese style. The Beijing Warrior bagpipers greet players with regal gusto before every match.
You need strong lungs to play these pipes.
Zhang Ali traded his trumpet for a tougher challenge.
These are more difficult. The trumpet is just one pipe. Now I have to play 3.
Their kilts were ordered online from Scotland.
We dress up and play bagpipes to pay tribute to curling and Scotland, where it came from.
Curling is the only winter sport that happens every day at these games. Over 40 performances in, and the Chinese pipers still thrive on it.
I'm not at all tired of it. We're excited and honored to be here.
Here, on an Olympic stage they never imagined when they picked up the pipes. Anthony Germain, CBC News, Beijing.
This weather update is brought to you by the NL 511 app. Know before you go. Check road conditions, highway cameras, and the provincial plow tracker with the NL 511 app.
Well, we went from 45 centimeters of snow by Tuesday morning to pretty much nothing left right now on the Avalon. Temperatures really warm, up to 11 degrees in St. John's this afternoon. Let's take a look at what the rest of the province saw. Well above zero, about 7 degrees in Stephenville, 9 in Corner Brook. Northern Peninsula, you stayed on the cold side of this system, and you're hovering around 0 degrees for St. Anthony, and then much colder up across Labrador into the minus teens. Taking a look at where we're sitting now, down to minus 13 in St. Anthony, feeling more like minus 27. Those temperatures are starting to drop on the west coast, about 6 or 7 degrees, and they're going to continue to drop as we head through the evening hours tonight as this area of low pressure moves through and that cold front moves through. Very sharp cold front where we're going to see those temperatures plummet as we head through the evening and overnight tonight. Taking a look at the timeline for that, you can see the rain right now. The heaviest is moving across eastern Newfoundland and will end by the time midnight rolls around. But you can see that big sharp drop in temperatures for the west coast, -1, -5 by the time 10 o'clock tonight rolls around for the west coast. And eventually we will see the showers and rain taper off after midnight. And again, that wind will taper off as well for eastern areas of the island. The snow, the same thing. You'll see that taper off by the time we get into the early morning hours. Now, wind chill values by the time we get to tomorrow morning are going to be freezing, but Environment Canada has issued that flash freeze warning for most areas. That's because we're going to see lots of water on the road, and with that big sharp drop in temperatures, expecting everything to freeze up. So definitely keep that in mind if you're heading out tomorrow morning. Here's your wind chills, minus teens. Very different story from what we're seeing today. Extreme cold warning as well for Lab West, where you're going to see your wind chills into the -40s as we head through the night tonight. Taking a look at the future tracker for tomorrow, not a whole lot happening into the afternoon. We're going to see maybe a few flurries in the morning, and then that's about it. We should actually see the sun peek out at times through the day and then increase in cloud again as we head to the evening hours. But again, overall temperatures tomorrow will be in the minus single digits, with those winds easing as the day goes on. Likely going to stay cloudy for the west coast, and then temperatures minus teens and -20s for you in Labrador. As we head into Sunday, not a whole lot happening either. However, still a little bit more, or it'll be a bit more unsettled rather, with those temperatures into the -2 to -5 degree range, and then similar temperatures up across Labrador as you're going to see tomorrow. Another warm up, kind of, by the time we get to Monday and Tuesday. Maybe the chance of a few flurries on Monday and or showers, but then by Wednesday the next system moves in. Looks like another warm up and windy conditions for the east. Now for central Newfoundland, you're looking at your temperatures dipping by Tuesday, back up again by Wednesday, hovering around 4 to 6 degrees through the west as well. Not quite as windy though for you. And then as we head towards the big land, we're looking at a fairly nice start to the week, dropping in temperatures, and then snow the story across Labrador as we get into Wednesday. Wanted to share this photo with you. This is the ice pans of Northside Beach on the Eastport Peninsula. Thank you for sending that in. If you have any weather photos, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Let's find out who's celebrating. Happy 66th anniversary to Norman and Erla Butt of Swift Current. Happy 50th wedding anniversary tomorrow to Alvin and Edith Hussey of Topsail. Leo and Ursula McCann from St. John's are celebrating their 62nd wedding anniversary. Congratulations to Eugene and Bessie Lush from Torbay, who are married 55 years. Wishing Flo and Will Hiscock a happy 56th anniversary tomorrow. They spent years in Victoria and are now living in Brampton, Ontario. 60th anniversary greetings going out to Aubrey and Harriet Strickland of Port aux Basques. Happy anniversary to Francis and Jack Fox from Gander. They're celebrating 65 years of marriage. Happy 52nd wedding anniversary to Howard and Christine Cooper from Winterton. Happy 50th anniversary to Wayne and Anne Ruth of Kippens. Wishing Winnefield and Lillian Higgins a happy 64th wedding anniversary. Anniversary greetings going out to Dean and Eliza Reeve. They're celebrating 64 years of marriage. Happy 57th anniversary tomorrow to Jess and Cecilia Pomeroy of Grand Falls, Windsor. Congratulations to Clyde and Margaret Oram from Glovertown on their 55th anniversary. 69th wedding anniversary greetings to Onias and Violet Ralph of Grand Falls, Windsor. Wishing Joan and Bruce Snook from Fortune a happy 55th anniversary. Best wishes to Richard and Maxine Tracy from Stephenville on their 60th wedding anniversary today. Congratulations to Harold and Nancy Cooper, who are celebrating their 50th anniversary tomorrow. Happy anniversary to Joyce and Ben Broidel. They're celebrating 61 years of marriage. Happy 69th anniversary to Ralph and Pearl Roberts of Brigus, now living in CBS. Happy 55th anniversary to Nancy and Terry Isaacs of Trepassey. Anniversary greetings going out to George and Gloria Noseworthy of Leading Tickles. They're celebrating 59 years of marriage. Happy 50th wedding anniversary to John and Cheryl Hoskins of Lab West in Churchill Falls, now living in Balleen. Happy 61st anniversary to Pleeman and Marjorie King of Valleyfield. Happy 50th anniversary tomorrow to Fred and Joan Davis of Grand Falls, Windsor. Anniversary greetings going out to Ford and Emma Rumbold of Mary's Harbor. They're celebrating 54 years together. Now to some birthdays. Happy 92nd birthday to Beth Woodford of Harper, Maine. Wishing Annie Avery of Deep Bite a happy 90th birthday. Birthday greetings going out to Arthur Sturge of St. John's, who's celebrating his 95th birthday. Best wishes to Ralph Parsons of Mount Pearl on his 90th birthday. Happy birthday to Sam Skinner in Witless Bay, who turns 91 today. Happy birthday to Jane Smith, who's turning 95. Florence Anderson of Mount Pearl is celebrating her 92nd birthday. Birthday greetings going out to Jean Tilley of Springdale, who just turned 93. Wishing Lily Woodworth of Point Leamington a happy 100th birthday today. What a milestone. Happy 90th birthday to Herbert Norris of Deer Lake. Happy 94th birthday to Jean Walters of Boat Harbor West. She's holding a picture of herself when she was 16 years old there. Happy 93rd birthday to Rita Conway of Placentia, now living in St. John's. And happy 92nd birthday to Florence Crocker in Bayvert. Another fine crowd. Congratulations once again. Well, that's it for Here Now tonight. I'm Carolyn Stokes. We're back to our normal time on Monday with a 1-hour show starting at 6 p.m. Newfoundland time, 5:30 in most of Labrador. Hope to see you then, and have a great weekend. Good night.